Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sleepy Jazz, and today I want to talk about something that's a little bit more serious, something that's been happening in my personal life for pretty much my whole life. I'm tired, I need to get things off my chest, and it's time I talk about people who have done me wrong because I'm tired of them getting excused and getting away from it. So today I'm going to be telling you guys the truth about my previous home life and why I decided to move. So let's get right into it. Now, before I start talking, I do want to warn you guys that I'm going to be going over some sensitive topics such as mental abuse, financial abuse, suicide threats, and other things pretty much. So if these topics are sensitive to you and you guys do not like hearing about them, please do click off of this video. But if you guys are going to stay here and are willing to hear me out, then I appreciate that, and I will begin talking now. So this is pretty much just things that have been happening my whole life, and I was pretty much normalized to it, and these are things that my mom specifically have said to me, and this has been going on since I was little, and I was so desensitized to everything because I thought it was normal because everything started from a young age, but I never really realized how horrible my mom actually was to me until 2019. I remember the very specific day I finally started realizing things weren't adding up and nothing made sense to me, and I was very confused. I was upset and I felt stranded and alone because I felt like my whole life was a lie that day. It actually started when I realized that it started when my uncle had unfortunately passed away, my dad's brother. It was a really hard time for me. It was a really sudden thing and I couldn't get over it, and my mom and of course her mom, both my granny, both were no help to me at all with grieving such a random and very sudden loss. I was told that by them that he wasn't a good person, that he did drugs, there was nothing to grieve about, and this was the first time I had sat down and thought, they've got to be wrong. There's no way my uncle wouldn't do such a thing. That's not why he's dead or anything like that, Because that's what they were telling me. They were saying, he died because he was on drugs and stuff like that. And I didn't want that to be true. However, I was unfortunately proved wrong when his autopsy results came back. But that still never made sense to me. Because in my head, I was like, people that get into addictions, they're not horrible for that. That doesn't make them a bad person or anything. I was really confused because I was also taught not to judge people and things of that sort, so I never did. I never really thought that they would say things like that about him, and that's when I started getting really confused and started noticing a pattern with them. And another thing that happened was the day of his burial, I wasn't allowed to go. I was not allowed to say goodbye to my uncle on his burial day because I had school and because my mom told my dad no 1,000 times. And at least in my opinion, she had no right to tell him no, because it's not just his brother, that was my uncle who I had spent a lot of time with and getting closer to during my parents' divorce, which really hurt me and it hit me a lot. Their divorce did. I mean, I'm glad they divorced, but still, this is when I started noticing the signs and the patterns of my mom pretty much just wanting to control me and things of that sort. Also, speaking of the divorce, actually, my dad had visitation rights. It was every other weekend. He would pick me up Friday evenings and drop me back off at my house Sunday evenings, full weekend with my dad. I never saw a problem with it, Well, at first I did, because I was like, my mom had convinced me that my dad was some horrible and disgusting monster of a dad. And of course, I fell for it. And I was a very young and impressionable kid. So pretty much my whole childhood, it was him working 2 jobs, always being exhausted, and just not really having any time to do anything with me because he was always trying to rest. He was working 2 jobs. He was working at a factory in town, and he was also working at a Walmart because he needed a second income because my mom did not have a job. And that's also another thing that never adds up to me anymore, is because why did my mom never have a job? My mom was fully able to work. She had people that could watch me, who could babysit me. There were daycare places and things like that. I never understood why she didn't want to get another job, because she did have a job when I was really little. She worked at Macy's, a Macy's factory, which is what she does now, because of course she divorced my dad and would have no income if she didn't. But anyway, she used to work there, and then my pa passed away when I was about 5 years old, and then she had went up to the Macy's, I guess, to talk about the fact that her dad had passed away. And then she never went back. She had always claimed that she was actually fired for that, which for one is very illegal, and was never taken to court for, never fought against anything. And 2, she never tried to get another job, which was always odd to me. She always expected my dad to handle everything, and when he was struggling, he was blamed for it. And I didn't see any of that. I didn't see struggling or anything. I'm literally just a kid. I wish I had seen it sooner, because I said things to my dad that I deeply regret because of how my mom painted this image of him being a horrible person when he wasn't. He was just being treated horribly, and then she would run to me to blame him for things and make him look like a horrible person. And the truth about our finances came to light because of my dad, and of course my mom herself, because you can't really get away with fraud for too long, can you, Mom? And that leads me to my next thing about my mom, the financial abuse. My mom was constantly falling for scams. Not just that, but she had taken a bill that was supposed to be sent off for the phones and sent it to a literal scammer. I don't even want to go to details on this scam because it's ridiculous, it's stupid, and it's actually kind of funny.
I was kind of bursting out laughing for 5 minutes.
Yeah, so actually let me tell you guys more details. So there's this country music artist, a lot of you may know his name, of Sam Hunt. My mom thought she had sent money to a country music artist who is probably a millionaire right now, and she sent him thousands of dollars. I've seen messages of them talking to each other, and it's not just this guy, by the way, guys. She was talking to several men, probably while they were married, and she was doing it after the divorce too. There's like so many different names of guys on her phones, and some were even like country music artists, like famous, somewhat famous, and that's when I started to realize that like maybe my mom isn't purely evil, but maybe she's just really stupid. But no, she's very well aware of what she does, and I'm tired of having to put up with it. I'm tired of my granny making excuses for everything she has done to me, because not only was she taking money from my dad and siphoning off of him, she was siphoning off of me whenever I was working, 16 years old, working part-time. That's when she started siphoning off of me. She started taking my money. Because you know why? My dad got me a debit card because he was like, I don't want your mom using your money. She found out. She saw me type in the PIN for my card and everything, and then that's when she started using it. She would steal my card while I was sleeping. She would use it, never ask, never tell me anything. And then all she would say is, I'll pay it back. I had to use it for bills. Now, sometimes she would pay me back the full amount, and then there were also times where she would only pay me back in payments, and she would only pay it back halfway. And every time I would try to ask her for more money, because, she didn't pay me back the full amount, she kept lying and saying, oh, I paid you back the full amount, or, oh, I'll pay it back later. And then I would never ask about it again because I would forget, and then she would just forget about it, and she knew that was my weakness, was that I would just kind of forget about things easily and not be bothered because I didn't want to argue or anything. And she used that to my advantage and kept asking me for money, kept guilt-tripping me into sending her money. I would be fine right now. I wouldn't be in so much debt if I didn't fall for her tricks. And of course the previous time was my fault because the last time she had asked to use my credit card to pay one of her bills, by the way, and she said, I will pay it back next week. Nothing was paid back the next week, and she started giving it back to me in payments, and that's when it happened. I was asking her, like, hey, are you going to give me this amount of money? I'm kind of struggling, and I really need that money right now. And she started making the excuses of, how much do I owe you again? I think I've already paid you back the full amount. And no, it wasn't. I was keeping track. She ran up my credit card, by the way. She was using my credit card for this, and I thought she would actually pay me back because I was like, now she knows, because I have to keep my credit card shut off because she saved my credit card on DoorDash and was trying to buy herself money while refusing to feed me because I had my fiance over at my house at the time. She would not feed us. She wouldn't do anything for us. I was having to buy my own groceries most of the time. I was having to feed myself whenever I was staying home alone, which was actually reasonable. But it's just like buying the food, like, you could have at least bought it for me and, I'd cook it because I'd be home alone. But no, she used these reasons to her advantage because I saw them as reasonable at the time. Where she said, oh, you can buy your own snacks and buy your own food to cook while I'm not there, and I'll buy the food that I'll cook when I'm home and not working and stuff. And I fell for it. I've wasted so much money on things that she should have bought me herself because she is my mother. And I wasted my money believing her lies, her manipulation, and things like that. Another instance is when she asked me to take money out of my savings account. Now, my savings account was never supposed to be touched unless I was putting money into it. I had made that promise to myself, and I failed to keep it because I had sent her, I don't even remember what the amount was that she was asking for, but I took it out of my savings and I sent it to her. You know why? Because whenever I told her, no, that's my savings money, I'm not supposed to touch it, that was my promise to myself, she started trying to manipulate me and was saying, like, oh, I guess I just won't buy groceries this week then, I can't afford it. And that scared me, because obviously, like, I'm underweight, I have a high metabolism, I need to eat a lot to gain weight. And her saying that scared me because it's like, no, I need to eat, I need food because I need to gain weight, I'm really underweight and I'm really skinny. And again, just using my insecurities and my fears and things like that to her advantage, and she didn't care about how I felt. Like, I can't even, explain how mad I am, not just at myself, but at her, because why would you do that to your own child? Like, all of that time, especially a mom, because it's like, you spent all that time, 9 months of being of dealing with pregnancy, and then dealing with labor for hours and hours, and all of that just for you to treat me like crap and make me not want to talk to you anymore. I don't know, I just never understood it. I never understood her logic with that. Also, another thing my mom would do is, whenever I'd go with my dad on weekends, like I said, she would get mad at me. But the things she would tell me, she would threaten to kill herself. She would threaten to take my dog away and sell my dog because I would go with my dad on weekends. Not just because I wanted to, but also because, of course, I kind of had to, because she could get in trouble for literally holding me from going on his weekend visit, because that's kind of
very
illegal. But she would always try to make him seem like the bad guy, and then she'd get mad at me when I would do things at some point that I just felt forced to do because my dad was trying to spend time with me. He didn't really know what was going on with my mom, and he was really confused and upset because I just would feel forced to go, and I would be upset because I thought he was a bad guy. And there was one time I got so mad to a point where I told him that I hated him, and I wish I never did that because I finally realized how my mom was, and it was worse than what I had thought. I thought everything she was doing was normal, and it wasn't. It's far from normal. You don't take money from your kid. You're supposed to help your kid. You're supposed to be financially stable enough to where you help your kid out. Because also another thing that she did, all the child support money that she had got weekly was supposed to be saved for me. It was supposed to be saved for me to go to college. Every last penny of the child support was spent. Not on me, but on Netflix and things that I wanted, but I also didn't know at the time that she was using the child support for it. Because part of it, at least part of it, was supposed to go to me going to college, and if absolutely needed, it would be taken out for things for me, or things for me, anything. And it wasn't needed. My mom made plenty of money. She would always make excuses to get money from somebody, from her own mom. She was using her own mom for money. And to this day, my granny still doesn't really realize that, my mom really was just using her for money. And I finally noticed a pattern every time she would get upset with that too, is she would get upset, throw a fit, threaten to kill herself when my granny, or when me, wouldn't get her money, and she wouldn't give her money, and she would get herself into a situation where she's just in debt. And I don't know what to tell her, because the thing is, she has gotten so many things just handed to her on a silver platter. Her car that she has right now, she didn't pay a dime for it. It was my granny and my uncles that helped get that car for her. And then of course, it wasn't all just for her. It was also with me and mine, so I could have my mom's old car, the Toyota Camry. But of course, again, it's just giving her something for free, because it's a Ford Explorer. I forgot what year. It's a really nice SUV, and she got that all scot-free. She has horrible credit. She was also recently caught for unemployment fraud. She gave a company her car title or something to get $6,000. She still owes me a lot of money. I don't even know how much she's in debt right now.
She owes you $4,200 plus the child support, so $24,200.
That, but also, another thing is, one Christmas, I, was at my grandma's house, and I was opening gifts. My grandpa and my grandma both had given me somewhere over $2,000. I think it was actually $2,500 to save up for me to save for a car or for college, whatever I wanted to do, And then my dad, he gave me this little box. It was a little music box that had a necklace in it. Underneath that was $2,000. And if anything, my dad has struggled the most with things. I don't know how he managed to come up with $2,000 to give me at all, but I was grateful for it, because I needed that help. But anyway, I showed it to my mom. Horrible mistake, by the way, because I was like, "Here, Mom, he did something. Look, he actually does things for me. Look, you're lying to me, and I know it, because he's doing things that are almost impossible for him to do, but he's trying to do things for me so I can have a good life." I counted that money every single day, hoping that she would not take it and would just leave my money alone for once in her life. $100 was missing. I text her and I said, "Did you take $100 from my stack of cash?" "No, I didn't take it. Maybe you lost it." I looked everywhere for that $100. Next, she took $200. And I confronted her about it. "I'll pay you back." Next day, I only had $100 left out of $2,000 my dad had gave me. And I'm still fuming about it because she barely paid it back, and I wanted my own car because she would not put my Toyota Camry under my name. And I have a younger cousin who was, at the time, well, he's driving now, but at the time he was, close to being his age that he is now, being able to drive and stuff. And I wanted him to have a Toyota Camry because I was like, this is a really good starting car. I'm going to give this to him and see if my uncle will buy it off of me for him, or if, my older cousins, his parents would buy it off of me. And of course, I was supposed to get part of the money back when we sold it, by the way, to them. I didn't get any of it. And my mom barely paid me back the amount that I was using for a down payment on a car. Oh, and speaking of college, too, I think I already said that. I'm losing track. There's so many things that my mom has done to me. I can't even keep track.
When things don't go her way, remember what happened recently? Oh, I'll do my own complaints and nitpicks. She wouldn't buy us food, and I would buy food with my own money, and then she would literally eat all of it, and then be like, "Oh, whoops, my fault." And then does nothing to pay me back. Like, she literally still owes me for food that she's eaten that I bought for myself. And oh yeah, remember when she was fake crying that one time when you started mentioning you wanted to move and stuff? So she started fake crying about like your grandma and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. That was actually horrifying to me because I was just kind of sitting there like, what? This is weird and awkward. I think I've already told you guys, but yeah, the child support money was supposed to be money for me going to college. And it was never used for that at all. Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. But anyway, it was never used for me. And she'd always make excuses for everything. And
just straight up lie.
Just lie to me all the time. And I hate it now because
I was only there for a couple months and it felt like I was there for years. It was horrible. And then when she wasn't there, it felt quiet and nice.
Yeah, that's why I liked being at the house by myself. I would always just blast my music on the computer, play my games, and, I would record YouTube videos, and, I actually felt like I was finally doing something in life that I actually wanted to do, because I've always wanted to do YouTube and stuff, and I was going to go to college as if this doesn't work out, then I'll have, a trade or a degree, and I don't have any money for college now. And that's when I decided I was going to go to Macy's to work full-time, and I was going to do one of their college programs. And none of those really had anything that I wanted to do. But by that time, I had already gotten a car, and I was still trying to pay off my car. I still am. And I got braces to fix my teeth because I was like, I want, maybe college just isn't for me. And so I got braces, and I'm making payments on my car. I still am. And on my braces too, because I wanted my teeth fixed. And, oh God, I can't even keep my thoughts straight right now. But honestly, I would have probably went to college if my mom had actually did what she had promised and saved the child support for college, because that was a lot of money. I could have done something big. I really could have had it, and I lost it all when I thought I was actually getting somewhere finally and I was going to do something. I wanted to go to a university. I didn't want to go to a community college. I wanted to I wanted to experience going to a university. I wanted to experience having a dorm. I wanted to experience living on a campus. I didn't want to go to a community college because I wanted to get a bachelor's degree in biology or something like that, because I've always loved animals, I love nature and the earth, and so I wanted to get a degree in biology or something like that. And I wanted to be a zoologist or a marine biologist, and I just feel like I'm never going to be able to do that now, and that I missed out on so much because I was never financially stable, and my mom was always siphoning off of me. And then I was also talked down whenever I was talking about wanting to go to university for a bachelor's degree, because it was always, you can't afford that, you shouldn't go to a university, just go to a community college instead. And that hurt me, because that's not my fault that I can't afford it. I was supposed to be able to afford it, and you screwed it all up. You screwed up everything for me. I literally would just lived every day in fear, not knowing if I would ever be able to get away from her, get out of the situation that I was put in. And then finally, I did, and I am away from the situation now, and I'm a lot happier. And to me, it just felt like every time I was happy, my mom would try to ruin that, because whenever I had first met Jesse, who I'm still with, she would do everything in her power to hate him for some reason and blame him for things and make him seem like he's weird and suspicious and things like that. I never understood it, and she was always just like so fucking mean about him. And I have screenshots of what she would say when he was there and stuff, and she would always like blame him or me for things. And I don't know, I'm tired about it. I'm tired of it. I wanted to get it off my chest, because she was always excused for everything. People always made excuses for her and for everything she did to me, and I was hurt because I had nobody to talk to besides my dad, who I'd only see like every other weekend, and other things like that. And then finally I found other people to talk to about it, because I realized my cousins and my aunt knew how she was, and I finally started opening up to them about how she was and the things she would say to me. And that's finally where I started to actually find hope. And there have been so many times where I have thought I would just be better off if I was dead, if I just ended it all right there. Because I thought I would never be able to get out of that situation. And finally I found people. I found all of my online friends who have been featured in some of my videos. Some have not, but I found out that my cousins and my aunt knew how she was, and finally had the same views as me. And then I found my fiance, of course, and I just finally found people that like actually made me want to be here, made me realize that like I can get out of this. And of course I also had my dog too. If it wasn't for literally any of them, if I wasn't able to see my dad, if I didn't have them, I don't know what I would do on it, like genuinely, because the whole reason why I'm here is because of all of them, all of you guys that are watching this. And now I just feel like I'm finally free from everything after I felt trapped for so long. Especially when all my money went away, because the money that I had was like my source of hope, and it was like I lost all of that. My savings account was closed because I used up all my savings to help me pay my bills and stuff. And I don't have to hear people defending her anymore. I don't even have to hear her name anymore. And the only thing that really hurts now is just the fact that after everything she's done to me, I still love her. I still care about her because at the end of it all, she was still my mom, and she still did motherly things to me, and it's just we had a very, very weird relationship where she had done horrible things to me, and I wish those never happened, and I wish she had never hurt me because I still tried to love her through it all. But this makes it easier now that I'm away from her and away from everything she can do to hurt me, because now I can finally just love her from a distance, which is what I guess was always meant to happen. And I was so scared to say anything because I always had a doubt in my mind that maybe she wasn't so bad, maybe she was struggling, but I could never put any pieces together to give me a final answer until recently, where I finally realized that none of this was okay, none of this was normal, and now I can finally stand up for myself to her. And she tries to flip it on me, make it seem like I treated her horribly when I was trying to help her. I was giving her money and she was stealing from me, and she was pretty much just crushing everything I had beneath her foot like it was nothing. And that's something I'll never be able to forgive her for, because this happened for years and years. But I still care about her, and I still love her, and nothing will ever make that go away, because that's when I realized that, and that's also when I finally realized that that's what love is it hurts, and even sometimes when the other person treats you horribly, you still care about them, and you don't want to fully cut them off. And I don't think I'll ever learn to fully cut her off, or I won't ever have the strength to, because as horrible as she was to me, maybe she just needed help, or maybe, I don't know. I mean, I really wish she would get some sort of help, because I know that there's something wrong and that it's not normal.
My mom needs help too. Good God, I got off the phone with her. I want to.
Oh. But she won't ever get help or anything. And, you know, I can't help her anymore. It was draining me. She was literally, like, always threatening to kill herself, telling me that I treat her horribly, and blaming everybody but herself. She never took accountability for the things that happened to her, the things she did. Because even though she got scammed and things like that, she could have easily gotten out of it. Because it was really obvious. And honestly, like, the whole unemployment fraud, she should have known. She knew that was happening. I refuse to believe that she didn't know that, like, she was getting unemployment, because you don't look at your bank account and go, hey, I'm getting, like, extra money from some unemployment stuff, and I didn't file for unemployment. But it's like, you don't just, like, conveniently have extra money going into your bank account without, like, realizing it, like, oh god, like, I didn't, like, sign up for this and stuff like that, you know, like, you don't, like, accidentally get unemployment from anything and then have to owe $20,000 to unemployment, or to the government for unemployment fraud. That's just crazy. I feel like I should have been getting unemployment, though, because I don't even make a whole lot of money. But another thing is, she's always made more than me too. Even when I worked with her at her job, I was making less, because obviously she was there first. So why would I make more than her? It doesn't make any sense. And honestly, I probably have forgotten some things on here that I wanted to talk about, but I also just want to, in general, thank everybody that has been there with me the past few years, and thank all of you guys for subscribing, liking this video if you did, and just supporting my YouTube channel, because being a YouTuber was my childhood dream, and another thing that they did was put a whole lot of doubt in my mind about me ever becoming a content creator, doing YouTube and things like that. And even though like my channel growth has been really, really slow, I mean, it's still growing, and to me that's what matters to me the most, is like my growth and forming this community that I have here now. Because you guys matter to me the most. You guys have supported me and have just been like the best people ever to me. And it's like she's done like everything like that I've been telling you guys about is stuff that's been going on for the past like few years or so, and like I can't even think of it all. I just can't think about all of it. It's hard for me to even like talk right now with all of this. Oh my god, stop talking to him. I'm trying to collect my things. But I think I've said pretty much everything that I want to say. I'm sorry, this was a really long video. This was just a lot to really say and think about, because I've always been really quiet. I've been always afraid to speak up about the way she is, and I finally have a chance to do that now, and I finally feel like I'm in a more comfortable space to do that and to talk about the things she did to me and how she treated me and things like that. And this is only just the start of what people have done to me, because it's not just my mom that has done horrible things. There's so many other people I went to school with, literally my own friends, or some of my own friends, and other people that have just done me horribly when I had done nothing to them at all. And I will be talking about those people in a different video, because this video has already been going on way long enough. But to those of you who have stayed and listened to me talk about everything my mom has done, thank you. I really do appreciate it, more than you probably think. But I think that's all I have to say here, to how she treated me, to her lies and everything. And just the fact that like she never really treated me well in general. But anyway, that's it for now. That's all I'm going to say here. If I have anything else, I guess I'll just make another video. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye bye.